Someone stop the world, yeah. Seems like the moment has come, and I'm gonna get you, girl. The shadows are forming across your part. Vision look absurd. What's up, family? What's the deal? That nigga Maxwell took off in that bitch. If it was you, if it was I, we both be- Damn, I can't even do it. Hey, y'all lucky I can't play the song because they copyrighting, they blocking people, they giving niggas strikes. What's up, baby? What's up? What's the deal? Sirius Rising Time. Sirius Rising Time. What I call it? Sirius Rising Portal. Goddess Auset and the spiritual sun awakening. Listen, family, this is it. You know how dreams get. You know this is it. So just stop. Stop, stop, stop. Someone stop the world. Yeah. Seems like the moment has come and I'm gonna get you, girl. I'm working on it, dog. Fuck it. I'm working on it. Oh. Yeah, we got to talk about it, man. Look, we're in the gate. We're in the portal. We're in the gateway. And essentially, right now, Sirius Rising Time is here. And, it's about activating or something turning on inside of you cosmically that we have to understand from our planetary home, Sirius B. Now, Sirius A is the, the sun or the star that's coming in front of this sun, right? This human sun, this Earth sun. But in the grand scheme of things, in the bigger play at hand, we got to look at the orbiting energy of Sirius A and Sirius B as a whole holistic experience, which I'm about to break down right now. You know, hey, I'm just telling you what it is. This is all facts. I'm just telling you straight up what time it is. You feel me? So that's how we got to get at. So let's get it started, man. Let's get it started. Serious rising time. The portals is open and we are here, family. We are here. So the Lionsgate portal, y'all know we've been doing this for years, right? The Lionsgate portal now open through July 26th to August 15th. The sun in Sirius synchronizes rising is now clearly visible, appearing as two suns in the sky. This activates a gateway between the physical and spiritual worlds. On August 8th, this powerful stargate reaches its peak position at Orion's belt, moving into direct alignment with the pyramids of Giza, opening the cosmic 8-8 Lionsgate portal. Okay, so them Egyptians back in the day, they was throwed off. They knew for a fact to line up that pyramid with the stars of Giza and the whole sun Sirius thing, right? Absolutely amazing. And, they were the technology. Advanced technology was inside of them. Now we're interpreting this stuff from outside of us in the aspect of this physical technology, ChatGPT, and all of this other stuff, right? But the real knowledge and gnosis is inside of you. So now, in this Sirius rising time, essentially what's happening is in Egyptian mythology and Egyptian culture, they believe that that sun that's coming in front of the sun we know is the spiritual sun or the black goddess, Auset. And essentially, that spiritual sun is an aspect of divine feminine energy, which is inside of you, which is you in a whole. Because you are first spiritual, which makes you first feminine. And we're not talking about the male and female thing. We're talking about the principal energy of divine feminine energy. So now we got to understand this from the core that spirituality has to rule over you first in order to move into a more higher, uh, more etheric place in this particular incarnation that you're in. You must move into the aspect of creativity, laughter, fun, love. I'm gonna get to it, don't worry. And them attributes, what we call right brain thinking, is important, very important in the aspect of actually activating your purpose down here, your purpose driven, your real divine purpose. And I'm gonna show y'all some videos, and I got a whole bunch of stuff to break down, so we're gonna get it in heavy, 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 heavy. But just understand to the core, right, that you are the great mother, and you are the first principle, which is divine feminine energy, the end, the 0 point, the nothing, right? Auset. And this says divine mother, Auset, the original. Mary equals Ma's rays, or mother of rays, mother of the sun. So remember, you have a sun inside and this sun outside, and the sun that's coming, or the star, they call it the star, but it's actually a sun, Sirius A, that's coming in front of our sun in this particular time, in this Lionsgate time, in this portal time, is essentially giving us cosmic rays, light codes, information in the form of how we're supposed to move down here in this particular incarnation, and our souls travel as well, which I'm going to read some of this Polaria Gift of the White Stone so we can really break it down in the aspect of what the divine goddess is. So now, when we're talking about the sun gazing, right, and you looking at the original sun that you know, you don't even have to do that with this Sirius star that's coming in front of our sun, right? And remember, it comes in front of our sun in different times and locations. So don't worry about it seeing it physically, right? That's still the human way of thinking. Just being outside is going to give you light codes. Just being a melanated being is going to give you light codes. Because again, it's a melanated etheric, it's a melanated energy that's cutting on inside of you. This etheric energy inside of you is cutting on. So you just got to understand it cosmically, and from the standpoint of, okay, during this particular time, let me tap into my bag. Let me tap into the aspect of me that knows, which is your right brain thinking, which is the love you have for yourself as a creative, intuitive being. Even when you talk about feminine energy, right, their whole aspect and their whole world is about love and feeling, right? Emotional system. Females are real emotional creatures by nature, right? And it's not a coincidence, because it's just as above, so below, as within, so without. So us looking at these divine goddesses in our day-to-day life, yeah, some of them have been hijacked by their mind to turn into masculine beings, which is majority of the world, 99% of the world, turn into automatons. But still, you can still see sparks of divine feminine energy flowing through the world. Like when I look at D-Ray, I see it in particular manners of how she moves, right? She's not forcing nothing. It's effortless, and it's intuitive drive. It's spirit, it's a flow, it's a sense of this thing. It's not constricting and strong and tough and going out. It's moving how the wind blows. And that's an important energy to understand within inside yourself. Within inside you, you have to find your relaxation point that lets you understand that you are all knowing. And that's the divine feminine goddess energy, or what they call the mother and son, Ma and son, or the mason, or the master mason. So the black goddess is the master mason, because again, she's the only one that can bring forth a son. SON, right? Through this particular world that we're in. Now, we're also master masons because we're coming out of that portal, that womb. But she is ultimately the principal energy, and it doesn't matter about male or female. I just still want y'all to see it as within, so without, right? As above, so below. She is ultimately a symbol, the melanated goddesses, to study and understand for your spiritual development and growth. So now in this book, Polaria Gift of the White Stone, that's all they talk about is the melanated goddess, Isis, or Auset, as we know her as Auset, right? And they're going deep into the fold of trying to figure out the mysteries of Auset and who she are. You can even see the mountain, right? The Polaria mountain, because they're trying to reach that top point to get back to the goddess. Okay, so now that we understand that this time is about Auset coming through, right? Inside of you. Remember, all of this is about energies inside of you too. So we got to understand that you're activating a particular energy by just being alive. So now you might have feelings of doing something creatively, right? And you might have feelings of, making things, putting something together, being in your creative bag, right? And it might be a strong urge. But how they trick people is during this specific time, they bring them teachers right back to school. I just went to the store. I seen the school full of cars, nigga. I was like, oh. I said, God bless. Some of y'all might be in y'all, what's it called? What's that shit called? Teacher development days or whatever that used to be called. The whole campus was full of cars. It's like, damn, they going back to school already? I said, we in July. Nigga, school starting August 12th. Nigga, get your ass in here. So now they cutting niggas summer shorter, and they're purposely doing it through the Lionsgate energy. Across, the work America or whatever. I'm telling you, nigga, that's a strategic plan to snap your right brain thinking and get you straight back into the left brain. So you can operate in a mode of straight A, B, C, D, E, F, G, straight logical, rational. And the funny thing is that there actually need particular beings, melanated beings, to make their school be more creative and more fly. So that's also part of the game too, because you put melanated beings in a situation, they're going to respond quickly. That's what melanin is. It's an instant response to make things happen. So now, shit, them districts and shit, they just got to put you in the building, and the school is going to run. So now, when they're in this teacher development stage, all right, this is how we're going to do this first 9 weeks instantly. Shit, that's easy as clockwork, boy. What? All right, so I got to talk about this because Sandman is out during this time, and this is a powerful show. If y'all not watching it, y'all must go see it. That's showing all the symbols of what we're talking about right now. The Black woman is God. So Sandman, it's a must watch. It's one of the deeper occult shows since Lovecraft Country. Absolutely a must watch, and they're putting it out there. That Neil Diamond dude, the director and the writer of it, he's putting it out there. He's telling you straight up what this is, and he's telling you through symbols, and he's not hiding it at all. Absolutely amazing. So now, and I haven't finished it yet, we're on the second part, so we're on episode 7. We watched episode 7. We're going to watch episode 8 tonight, but we're going to finish the whole thing soon. So now Neil Diamond, the director, is showing you straight up what this is all about. And he showed you what it was all about in season 1. But now he's just really going for it, like, So boom, this is Dream. Y'all know Dream, the Sandman, right? Morpheus, right? And the whole show is dedicated towards Dream. Dream's mom is this lady right here, this melanated goddess right here, right? And she is basically the the great mother, the 0 point. You feel me? The cosmic chaos, melanin at its finest, dark energy. Nigga, when they showed Dream's mom, I said, "Oh, I know they ain't trying to." I said, "I know." I said, "See, there's some good white people out here, boy. They gonna tell you the truth." They showed Dream's mom as a black lady, the ultimate, the all. I said, "See, there's some white boys just want to really get this shit up, and they giving it up in the book, so why not put it on a TV show?" Boom. I seen Dre's mom. I said, God damn. So her mom, his mom, Dream, the fourth dimension, essentially, the astral realm, which is just his energy signature, is basically the 0 point chaos, the beginning of it all, the start, the spark, the great mother, the chaos being, essentially. That's what she is. Boom. So we got her. Boom. This is his sister, Death. You see, Death actually got the Ankh, which is death is actually life. Oh. So now his sister also, her name is Death. She's part of the Endless, right? Sister, melanated goddess. You feel me? And they keep on making sure you see her with her Ankh on. You know what I'm saying? Showing that you don't really die. It's actually, you have eternal life, and in this transition state they call death is actually life. Boom. The hero of the story. Now I haven't seen. Now she made her appearance in episode 7. So now I haven't seen. I haven't seen the rest. But boom. Now she's back. The hero of season 1. You feel me? She's basically the epitome of Heru, or divine feminine energy, down here in this earth realm. Nigga, I was watching episode 7 yesterday. I said, "Ah, god damn, she's back." Boom, she's with the other lady, right? Other lady got a black child, but her name is Rose Walker. Rose is actually holding the black child the whole time and shit. I said, you cannot make this shit up. It's absolutely a must watch, the Sandman. You feel me? A lot of people might have stopped watching it because it's kind of slow. I'm in it. I'm in it heavy. Like that shit, like this second half, they picked it up. They tried to go for theirs on this. I'm on just on first episode. You feel me? Of the second half. So Rose Walker, remember, Rose is just the rising, right? The hero, the rose that grew out of the concrete. You feel me? So she's the human version of you that's trying to find herself. She's Heru, trying to find herself, trying to understand herself. She's on her pilgrimage, and she's doing her spiritual work in the form of understanding who she is. And she's trying to put the sun. The son's name is Daniel, the newborn son. Boom. He was born in the fourth dimension. That nigga Dream said, yeah, Daniel is the rightful heir to the fourth dimension now. I said, oh my God. I couldn't make it up. Boom, another black goddess. So now we got 3 black goddesses. Boom, the mom, the sister, and then the hero of the whole story. Boom, a 4th black goddess, the librarian, which is essentially Tahuti, or Dream's wisdom. You feel me? She's the ushering in of the whole 4th dimensional space, right? She's the wisdom Tahuti the wise one, or Sachet, if you will, and she's, helping Dream along his way as he keeps on maneuvering down this particular path that he's in. And then we have, hey, I can't make it up. Y'all seen the show. Boom. Nadia, or the first human on Earth, right? Which is the black goddess, right? Which she's the first queen and over all the people and everything like that, right? And she is essentially, she's essentially his love interest, which is a reflection of him. So Nadia is essentially just love or divine feminine energy. Nigga, I'm watching this Sandman. I'm like, nigga, why ain't nobody talking about this shit? I'm just waiting. I said, nah, you can't make this shit up. So the love interest, right? Or the love, she is pure love, right? We got love, wisdom, hero, death and life, and the great mother. I couldn't make it up if I want to, nigga. Y'all go watch Sandman season 2. Absolutely a must watch. I can't even play with y'all. If you in occult, metaphysical, spiritual practices and understandings, this is it. And then the biggest thing that Neil Diamond did in this series is he let you know that Dream is black. Dream wise, he let you know, nigga. He like shit. And then they kept, I was hoping he would just keep him black, but he'll show him back to his black version. I can't remember what he was calling them, but they were showing Nadia and the black version, and then they'll change back to the white version. I'm like, ain't this a bitch? But cool, fuck it. If you don't want to just, you know what I'm saying, just kind of stir up the pot like that. But we know that Dream is actually melanated. You feel me? They're just showing him, Neil Diamond, as just showing him as a white guy just because, whatever. They already settled it into that energy, right? And they want to keep on reflecting that peace so they can be down or whatever. Absolutely amazing. So now the love interest, remember Nadia, and I think his name is, I can't remember his name. Well, let's just call Nadia and Dream, right? Essentially, they're one. You feel me? And them being one is the union, or them being the masculine and feminine energy, or the right and left brain, right and left hemispheres of your brain, which is the holistic approach as you're going down into this world. I took my son to his basketball game this Saturday. I think it was Sunday. And anyway, my niece and nephew came. Cool, right? And they were, we were just talking about, KJ shooting and stuff like that. My son shooting. Boom. Caden, we asked my nephew Caden, we said, what, Caden, you shoot with your left, huh? You left-handed? He said, yeah. My niece, she said, I'm left-handed too. And y'all know Dream Wise is left-handed. So then, and my niece and nephew look just like me. Crazy shit. You feel me? Anyway, boom, they used to stay with their mama and stuff, right? It's just her and their mama, cool, right? 2 left-handed kids. They was chaos when they was younger. Absolutely uncontrollable, off the chain. You feel me? Some people, you could say it was the environment, being in the hood or whatever. Boom, mama dies. You feel me? Rising in the power to Mimi. Mama dies. Boom, she dies of drug. That's that whole thing. That's just the life we was in. You got to get out of it. My brother takes both of them. He's real left brain prisoner, Christian, all of that shit gone. You feel me? Him and his wife, left brain, heavy. You feel me? Just real logical in this thing. Go to church, choir, ushers at the church, all of that stuff. You feel me? Real gone with the mind, just left brain following status quo, stop at a stop sign type shit. Boom. They get them two. They have them now for about 3 years. I think me transitioned about 3 years ago. Now, boom. Both of them kids are now literally, I'm telling you, conscious. Because look, they didn't believe in no Jesus and all this. Now they're going to church more and more and more. Nigga, I took my nephew to the gym the other day. I was just talking to him, just trying to pick his brain, see where his head is at now. He like, yeah, nah, because his mama was whatever. She was conscious, but you know, that semi-conscious shit. Nigga, them kids, hemispheres, that matched up and became whole. So now you can see their eyes alert, their mind more alert. I'm sitting there talking to them. They damn near geniuses now. My brother said that my nephew is in top of his class. I said, that's that left brain, left-handed, right brain push to balance this thing out to understand what you got to do in this world. Nigga, that left hand, all my left-handers out there, just know that you probably suppressing your creativity, your divine feminine energy, or you've gone so far to not be different that you done shot yourself in the foot and shit and just lost your whole way. You have to you have to do stuff with your left hand, family. I'm left-handed, so you know, spirit just knew I needed that. But you got to do stuff with your left hand to get that right brain pumping. Brush your teeth with your left hand. Write with your left hand. Dribble a basketball with your left hand. Try to do push-ups with one hand on your left hand, right? You can do these pick and berries things with your left hand, crossing the hemisphere of your brain. Because again, we got to understand that your right brain is the divine feminine energy, right? And that's activating and turning on parts of you that knows. It's a knowing, it's the intuition. You just know, you like, damn, I know, right? But in order to fully be in your knowing, you got to do things that stimulate your right brain. So I'm just telling you what it is, family. All my right-handers out there, you know what I'm saying? Start trying to figure out ways to do stuff on your left side, you feel me, and stimulate that right brain thinking. Because again, we're caught up in a world of right-handers, and that stimulates the left brain, and it pushes more of the logical, rational thing, the masculine energy. But if you're trying to push this feminine energy, you're gonna have to get into being in your right state of mind, your chaos state of mind, which is your left hand. I'm just telling y'all what it is, family, because that's the ultimate power to tapping into your creativity and breaking free and getting out. Love is the ruler of the divine feminine energy. Love is what the whole divine feminine energy is about. When you think about love, it's unconditional love, right? But then it's also a love that's passionate. You feel me? That's strong. That's like, so think about your mama's love. She love you unconditionally, right? She gonna nurture you, give you food, make sure you got your clothes and all that other stuff, right? And make sure you healthy and whole. Then if she sees you doing something wrong, she loves you enough to beat your ass. So the mother is love in two different ways. the great mother or divine feminine energy is love in two different ways. It could be constructive love, the nurturing, the caring, right? The beauty. And then it can also be what you would call destructive love, which is not a negative thing, which is the tearing down, the breaking down, the beast. So now, when you tap into your divine feminine energy, or when you invoke some of these goddesses, essentially you're tapping into your beauty and your beast at the same damn time. At the same damn time. So when that happens, your beauty and the beast is cut on. Essentially, what's going to happen is you're going to see the world from a whole nother lens of thought. And instead of you being in reactionary mode or like a space of automaton out robotic movements and just not really having a sense of self, you can step out of your mind, out of your left brain thinking, and move into a more creative, strategic thinking. So in the Mind Control 101, that's what he's talking about in that. He's talking about tactics people use to try to get things from people and stuff like that versus strategy, something that you build for a long time, and then the play gets landed. A lot of entrepreneurs, they use strategy to move into this world because, again, the strategy is a long game that lets your business run over and over and over again. If you're trying to just sell one thing one time, tactics, then essentially you shooting yourself in the foot because, again, you're going to have to figure out how to keep on doing them tactics over and over and over again. And sometimes they won't work. Sometimes it will work. So now you don't have a consistent flow of income coming in. We're reading it in the Patreon family, Mind Control 101. And it's absolutely a spiritual book telling us how to deal with automatons. So now, getting back to the love, right? Remember, think about childbirth. This is why the mother is the mason, right? In childbirth, it's a beautiful thing. But then it's also a scary thing, a fearful thing. So you got the beauty and the beast all in one in that childbirth experience. But remember, in melanin, I'm telling y'all something deep right here, family. I can't make it up. With your melanin, when you put yourself in particular situations, the melanin cuts on, and now all of a sudden, your beauty and beast is activated for you to create whatever response you have to in that particular moment. If you turned on your divine feminine energy. So a good way to turn on your divine feminine energy is invoking some of these goddesses. Because again, when you're outside of the thinking logical and the rational state, right, you're pushing yourself into another level of genius that looks strange to everybody else, but is going to get a deeper, more throater response than just being so square. L7. So you got to think about it like in anything melanated people do. You feel me? You put us on stage, we're going to show up and we're going to rise to the occasion. Just based off of the melanin is going to be activated. It might be fearful and it might be a beautiful experience on that stage, right? At the same damn time. But the only reason why you falter on that stage is because you're thinking. And that thinking is fucking you up. And the divine feminine energy is a intelligence that just moves. Nigga, y'all see D-Ray on that stage, he look like a whole nother person. I'd be like, God damn, who the fuck is this? She eloquent, she just flowing. Don't got no notes, no screen or nothing. She's gone. Me, everybody else, Joseph, but we got a screen. We thinking. Yeah, in this family, and then we out of there, baby. The master student conference, she blew us away. She up there just going like, all right. Then she did it while pregnant twice. So you know she was really in her bag then, the Mason, the mother and son. She really in her bag. She up there just going. I'm like, oh. Chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, I'm just telling you what it is, baby. It's a different energy happening. You feel me? When the goddesses is just saying, fuck it, I'm gonna just go. You feel me? Because they're in their space, in their creative mind, heavier than a lot of us masculine beings. So now y'all seen the love story, right? And that's love story is a perfect example of the balance or the love that you have for yourself and the love that's inside of us all through the divine feminine energy. So in this Sirius rising time, the flooding of the Nile is happening, right? And that flooding of the Nile is essentially the flow her or the flower, what they call the flower, the flow her, right? The goddess will show up inside of you in the form of ecstasy, bliss, love. So that flow her or that flower is essentially the waters flowing when that vagina get wet. Hey, I'm just telling you what it is, family. I can't make it up. I got the sex books to prove it. So the Nile in this Sirius rising time, Auset coming through, which is Auset, the sun, the spiritual sun coming through, which is Auset, right, is essentially letting the love happen in the aspect of the waters flowing or the Nile flooded. Chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, I know I can hear some of y'all better than Christians right now. Nah, Dream, you can't say that on YouTube. I'm telling you what it is. Look, you got to think about it. When you talking to a female and shit, right? And you really in your bag, and you really in your game and shit. And you charismatic, you charming, right? You might have some intellectual banter or whatever. Shit. You don't think she gonna get a little bit moist down there, baby? She start feeling in love. She like, ooh, shit, this nigga turning me on in this moment. Yeah. You feel me? So again, the stimulation of the mind, right, is important for the goddesses because again, the female she care about how you look, but shit, if you can't speak that shit, if you can't talk that shit, then you're not gonna let her flow her. She gonna be like, nigga, I don't know what. You drying me up. I'm like Phoenix in this bitch. Arizona. That's what she gonna say. She gonna be like, God damn, it's 115 degrees out here. You got me dry. Hell nah, I seen that clip with Arizona, them cars melting and stuff. I don't know how real that is. I'm like, damn. Is it that damn hot? I said, oh, if it's that hot, this is just shit. Something's happening to the world because God bless. You talk about that 115. I'll be scared to just see that shit. I seen a UPS worker in Arizona pass out. He dropping off a package. He get right at the door. He just fall and pass out. I said, oh shit, it's hot. I said, boys got to drink that water, baby. Get that watermelon juice in Arizona. Y'all let me know if it's hot out there because goddamn. That water is important and waters and noons have to flow. Listen, family, I can't make it up. That's what the whole Sirius rising time is about. Auset coming through and The flooding of the Nile is the flooding of the female vagina flooding, the womb, that portal. So guess what another good practice it is for y'all to do? Oh, I even gotta say it, nigga. Get your tongue ready to go down and eat. I'm talking about the whole goddamn Sirius rising time. Look, either you want to tap in or not. I'm just telling you what it is. You're gonna have to get to yodeling in this bitch. Get your tongue game off the chain, fellas. Cause listen, that time right there, that flooding of the Nile is going to activate stuff inside of you. Tell you, your Christian Benedict Church, Baptist, Negro moralism people is not going to get this occult knowledge. You got to get it, family. I'm telling hey, I'm just saying, hey, look, I've done the reading. I read the stuff Bobby said, and that's all it's saying. And in this book, Polaria Gift of the White Stone, they basically tell you shit through the sex magic. And shit. You got to get them collies. Them collies. Speaking of collies, I got to stop playing with y'all. So now, understanding, right? Let's understand the Trinity for a minute, right? Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, right? Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, the ultimate gods. Brahma, the creator god. Vishnu, the preserver god. Shiva, the destroyer god, right? Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva have consorts, wives, right? They're activated. Only way they're activated is by the goddesses, right? Brahma is consort to Sarasvati. Brahma, the creator god. Sarasvati, the created one. So the creative one in the arts, in music, in writing, and all of that. So Sarasvati activates Brahma, you fellas, to be a creator down here in this earth realm. Lakshmi activates Vishnu, right? Because Vishnu is a preserver. Lakshmi is the abundance, the wealth, right? So you're preserving your abundance, your wealth on the earth realm. So the goddess is activating the god. You got to have both. Boom. Shiva, the ultimate god, his consort is Parvati, and then also Kali, and then also what we know, Shakti, right? But Parvati is the ultimate divine balance as the destroyer, and Parvati balances them out. But also, Shiva is also the destroyer, but Kali is also his consort, which is also the destroyer. And then we go to Shakti, which is the ultimate goddess, right? Shakti is also destroying the human, right? Which Shiva is also doing as well. Shakti is your Kundalini energy. So when you rise your Shakti energy, essentially you're just destroying the human emotions or ridding yourself of the human emotions to get out of the human and become God or Shiva. So now understanding that all three of the consorts, all three of the Trinity gods, right, have three consorts that is also a Trinity, is creating a holistic experience to take you up out of this bitch. But it starts with the goddess. Starts with the goddess. It starts with the goddess. So now going even further to what this Trinity even stands for, pineal pituitary hypothalamus gland, right? Because again, like I've seen in many of my videos, The Trinity in your brain is connected in the middle of the right and left hemisphere of the brain, or the God and goddess energy. The right hemisphere, which is the gods, and the left hemisphere, which is the goddesses. But ultimately, when you cut the Trinity on pineal pituitary hypothalamus gland, you're tapping into the ultimate power, which is the goddesses, which is divine feminine energy, which is love for yourself, which is creative energy. So again, this thing is about love. This thing is about bliss. And what do you love to do? You feel me? The whole idea of this earth, why you came down here, is because you want to experience some kind of love, right? Coming to America, Prince Hakeem finding his Lisa. You're trying to find your love in an adventure down here through creative principle, which is the goddess. So now, again, Sirius rising time is literally turning on and activating a particular love inside of you, right? But if you're not feeling this particular love of something that you want to do, let's say you want to travel the world, right? And spirit is trying to show you clues and symbols of how to travel the world, but you done suppressed your goddess energy, your right brain energy, so much that you're thinking about logical steps to pursue it. And spirit be giving you symbols over and over and over again. Yeah, do this, try this, or go here, meet this person. But you didn't suppress that part of you that knows, that goddess that knows, because again, we've been programmed in this masculine driven world, this patriarchal driven world, to see the world as a step-by-step logical, let me read, let me figure it out, instead of tapping into our divine chaos, magic, spirituality self. So when you see 607 up go on rants like that, that's him in his pure goddess form. He's let the world go and he's like, fuck it, I'm going for mine. And he's channeling through a cosmic portal that's he already opened up inside of him to answer the question through his love for self, through how he sees the world. So that's the same thing with you, family. You got that also inside of you. It's just about turning it on. So one way to turn it on is to start invoking these goddesses. Whichever goddess you got to go to first. You feel me? Some people love invoking Lakshmi. That's a good goddess to invoke because all you got to do is eat candy, and you can say there's a Lakshmi mantra that you can listen to that'll put you in that Lakshmi zone. It's not a logical thing, family. I'm telling you, you got to listen to the mantras and see Lakshmi. If you're a guy, see Lakshmi making love to you. Or if you're a goddess, see Lakshmi come inside of you, right? And be one with Lakshmi and her particular archetypical energy. Because remember, the symbol alone is a powerful symbol of different energies that in the aspect of their hands, how they're positioning stuff and blah, 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 right? The lotus, all of that stuff, right? But you don't have to see, but the logical person is saying, okay, what if I don't remember the hand position? That's human. You're invoking Lakshmi because your subconscious mind remembers the hand positions, right? Unknowingly, and then it's going to turn on and activate something strange inside of you. So now that's very, very important to understand that you have the power to invoke all of these goddesses, right? If you want to even go even more a little bit logical, you can just grab your statue and put it in the place of their power. So we got Sarasvati here because this is where we create at, right? It's where we tap into our creative energy, our artistic expression, and so on and so forth. You feel me? You put Lakshmi where you handle your bills at. You feel me? relax me in the living room because that's where you feel more alive or abundant, and you want to be in the aspect of wealth. You feel me? Put a Kali statue in your magic room where you're trying to destroy the human. You're trying to kill off that human thought, that human urges, them demiurges that keep you stagnant and stuck. So now let me read Lama Luket so we can go deeper into the fold of this Trinity. So this is Polaria Get to the White Stone, and he did the excerpt for H.W. Mueller, and he talks about how this book is actually changed his life and the way he sees the world. I'm going to just read some of it. Check this out. It says, as a member of the body of God, I hereby bind myself on behalf of the whole universe, that I will interpret every phenomenon as a particular dealing of God with my soul. That's Lama Lulu Kit, right? He says, the above declaration is known as the oath of the abyss. Whosoever utter it with full magical intention invokes a terrible curse upon themselves, for they are either hopelessly deluded and committed an act of supreme spiritual presumption, or they are balanced and perfected all aspects of what most of us consider to be the self, and are now prepared to take the last irrevocable step toward becoming more than a human. These white boys are using your science and saying, nigga, I'm taking an oath to be, fuck the human, I'm taking an oath to be out of this body. The oath of abyss. I'm taking an oath to be transcend this particular physical human body and be a soul being having a human experience. Right? Because again, the channels and downloads that you receive in this human vessel is from God or your higher self. So now them channels and downloads that you receive based off of you doing your spiritual work and being in a more high vibrational state is putting you in tune with the universe or your universe, which is one song. So now you're in rhythm, you're in the beat, you got the beat, you got the flow, you're moving, right? So now that flow state is you being able to be limitless, like the show, like the movie Limitless. He took the pill. He's just able. He's gone. You feel me? So it's not, I don't want y'all to take it like literal or logical, like you're just going to be on all the time, because you are still having a human experience. But you can tap into that flow state that puts you into more divine states of bliss and peace and love and abundance. So that's why you have to lead with spirit first and then let the human go. In both cases, the world will presume they have gone mad. Modern Kabbalists constantly refer to the tree of life, a linear segment of 10 emanations and 22 paths upon which the universal mechanics of energy and consciousness are projected. In one respect, it is a very unsatisfactory diagram for its attempt to dimensionalize the dimensionally. So even this nigga wrote the chicken Kabbalah, right? Even he's saying that tree of life is some bullshit. He's saying like, look, nigga, we're trying to understand y'all. You got to read the context clues. He's saying like, y'all got something that we don't have. And we see it in the aspect of, the athletes, the singers, the actors, so on and so forth. Cool. He's saying we're trying to understand y'all's soul with a diagram called the tree of life. Putting all these sephiras and stuff on it to understand, okay, maybe it's like that. Maybe it's like that. All right. Watch this. Nevertheless, if its shortcomings are kept in mind, it provides us a vocabulary with which we can weigh complex abstractions and attempt to communicate them with others. So he's saying, like, nevertheless, that tree of life can help us white people out. It can help us kind of figure out how to be soul beings. You feel me? It can help us understand ourselves a little bit more. See what I'm saying? It can help us tap in a little bit, like, oh, okay, let me deal with this particular sephra at this time. All of that stuff, right? It also provides a very convenient filing cabinet in which the spiritual concepts and images of all religions, mythologies, and cultures can be correlated and stored. All 10 sephras or emanations of the tree are really only aspects of facets of the top first sephra, Kether, which represents the totality of existence. So the Kether is the knowledge or the knowing, right? You know. You're just trying to wake back up into your knowing. You know, right? Look at 607 Up. He's a great example because he's the one that's on top of everybody's head. He know. He's just like, fuck it, I know. Fuck it. This is what it is. You just go into a rant and shit. You feel me? And he's channeling at such a cosmic rate that he's just in his bag with saying, fuck it, this is what it is and this is how I see it, right? So it doesn't matter about the fact, it's his truth. Your truth is your truth. So if you stand in your truth, that's all that matters, right? Now, this ain't about you proving your point. This is about you standing in your truth and don't have to prove your point. Because that's the glamour and that's the ego. People trying to prove their point to other people when it's just about you falling into your knowing, your knowledge of self, your Kether. You feel me? It says the all 10 sephras or emanations of the tree are really only aspects of or facets of the top first sephra, Kether, which represents the totality of existence, the supreme monad. But even the concept of one is a blemish upon the sublime perfection of the pre-existing zero. So zero is, again, the great mother, chaos, right? You're a chaos being, and the zero is the start of it all. But the zero can be looked at as, like, if we're looking at the tree of life, right? It can be looked at right outside of Kether, which is just the potential energy of you coming down into this thing. You feel me? And he breaks it down right here. If one is to exist and be conscious of its oneness, it must reflect itself. Like a yogi in meditation who reaches to the core of being and exclaim that what I am, the mere act of reflection creates two. So the act of being one, you have to have two. So that's why you have two hemispheres of your brain, right? But that's why you are down here to find another half in the aspect of this love story that we're in, right? It's just as above, so below, as within, so without. So then the two is the one, you, the hero, and two, you find your soulmate or whatever you call it, your twin flame and shit. So now, boom, we got the one to the two because that's the only reason why you came down here, to experience yourself as a reflection or a mirror. But then it also goes into what? The mere act of reflex creates two. One is now conscious of itself and its reflection. The knowledge that there is a difference between one and two immediately creates three. Immediately creates three. So 1, 2, baby. Auset, Osar, Heru. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Right? Shakti, Shiva, Merjanan, or Krishna the child. 2 immediately creates 3. This Trinity by itself, still an abstraction, and exists only in potentiality. Nevertheless, cosmic patterns established by 1 becoming 3 becomes the archetypical germ that sets into motion a chain reaction that animates the entire creation scenario. So the process of consciousness, light, spirit descending into matter. So the only reason why you're down here is to experience yourself and to keep on reincarnating with the child. So now that what they call the germ effect of the three creates 4, 5, 6, right? And then that mirrors on top of each other all the way down to the earth realm, which is Malkuth. So then, but this is the beautiful thing about Malkuth and Kether. Malkuth is 10, Kether is 1. So 10 and 1, 0 and 1, and 1 is the same thing. So you're still the 1 down here as this human vessel, because again, you're experiencing these trials and tribulations and quote unquote human sufferings that happens to understand yourself from a more cosmic level, from a more spiritual level, which is the 1. Neo, the 1, yes, that's you. So now all of a sudden we got to understand how far the rabbit hole goes when we're talking about becoming or getting back to the great mother or the divine goddess or Auset, or being the ultimate love, which is the 0 point. And I think in the Sandman, hey, it's fucked up. I was trying to get some of the pictures. And I, you know, they got the whole season already out on Netflix. And I seen one picture. I said, fuck, why'd I see that? I seen it with Nadia. And I was like, I said, all right, shit, you already see how this story gonna go in the Sandman series. Like, god damn. Fuck it, I'm still gonna watch it. So boom, the 3, the Trinity, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, right? Creator, preserver, destroyer is generator, operator, destroyer, God, right? Holy Trinity. But they're activated by the goddesses, right? And that same aspect is happening inside of you in your mind with your pineal, pituitary, and hypothalamus gland. Pineal getting enlarged, the hypothalamus creating a synergy, the pituitary, or the pineal and pituitary making love, the hypothalamus secreting particular hormones to your chakras, your 7 C's, 7 emotions, 7 chakras, to make you move in a particular way. So then you start moving based off of the visions you're seeing every day on a daily. And they know this because they're using your science against you. And they're using it to put you in a sleep, in a slumber, to keep on creating for them. Give me some questions, family. All seeing eye, baby. All seeing eye. I see y'all out there. So now we want to get into the aspect of understanding how important it is to get that part of our brain going, i.e. the pineal gland, right? I.e. your right hemisphere of your brain. Because again, that right brain is going to put you in creative mode thinking and get you out of the automaton way of thinking. So then when you are in that particular creativity mode, essentially you can get yourself out of particular situations that doesn't serve you. So say if you don't like your job, right? Then essentially your right brain is going to help you figure out ways to get out of that job while still staying afloat or still being able to take care of yourself. But you got to turn it on. You got to turn on that pineal gland. And you know the best way to turn it on? Again, right now during this Sirius rising time, being outside, you can still sun gaze to that sun, right? But just being outside is going to give you light codes from the spiritual sun. And that spiritual sun is going to activate your black sun that's inside of you. And that black sun is basically just the love sun, or the love for your soul or your subconscious mind. So now when you activate that spiritual sun just by being outside and by doing different things strangely, right? And I'm gonna go over a lot of this in the Patreon family. I'm gonna go over a lot of the work and what to do, because again, and y'all know some of the stuff, right? One of the things, I'll give y'all a clue, YouTube. One of the things is, during this Lionsgate time, you want to do stuff that you probably would have never seen yourself doing. So being the Leo, the lion, and we're in this Sirius rising time, guess what, nigga? Roar like a lion. Yeah, y'all ain't ready for that because you're so human. You're ready to stay in the conformity of the world. Roar like a lion to break something up inside of you, to break that spirit that doesn't serve you. Nigga, Panic had us in class one time. He had us doing something. I think it was making monkey noises or something, Hanneman and shit. Nigga, niggas was in that bitch like, what? But it's good, because again, you gotta get out of the left brain imprisonment that's keeping you a shell of yourself to express yourself in a way that you don't give a fuck. Very, very important. So you can do it by yourself in your mirror. Roar like a lion during this Lionsgate time. Do it outside. Shit, even better, let somebody see you. Really fuck your shit up. Like, ooh, shit, you feel all of that. You like, damn, this motherfucker looking at me. I know he think I'm crazy. Fuck it. There's 7 billion people in the world, and you worried about the one old white dude looking at you. That's what you got to break. You got to break that spirit if you're trying to get into another level of what we call, wealth and abundance. Just think about it like this. You see them kids, them streamer kids, they don't give one fuck, nigga. They'll be doing all kind of stuff. They'll do some gay stuff, everything. They just do all kind of shit. They don't give a fuck what you think about them. You can put it in the blogs, everything. They ain't tripping. And niggas and kids is just watching like in amazement. And they just getting paid by your eyeballs. And then look, you don't even remember the silly stuff they did. Now you just remember that they paid. But that's just a bigger aspect or a symbol of what I'm talking about. The real thing is to break free of the ego-driven mind of you trying to be somebody. Because you got to be Mr. Nobody. Look, I had a dream last night. My dream, it was actually my Kundalini energy that came through, Shakti energy. It was a flamboyant gay dude. Pause. I'm just telling you what it is. That's what it was. It was a flamboyant gay dude. He was black. And I was roller skating. Just tell you what it is, baby. And he was directing us as we were roller skating. And I was kind of roller skating pretty far as he was directing us and shit. He was like, yeah, do it this way and do it that way. He was gone. And essentially, that was my Shakti energy, because Shakti comes in different forms in the dreams. Shakti will come as a bad bitch, black, fire, you know what I'm saying? Fine, right? She'll come in that aspect of like real sexual energy type of thing. Shakti will also come in the androgynous state. Remember, this is the Pina and Pingala thing. You feel me? And like that dream I had last night, Shakti could come as a flaming guy. You feel me? But that's just all. It's all in play. Because again, and I knew it was Shakti, just based off of I just know. You feel me? I just be knowing. Like I knew it in the dream. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is Shakti. He's guiding me. And then I started skating even better and better. I started skating backwards and shit. Tripping in that bitch. I was gone. And this shit, that's what it was. A flamboyant gay dude. Black. Pause. Chaos in the blood, baby. Yep, that harataki is going to decalcify and detox your body. So y'all get that. That harataki is always going to do wonders. Y'all see it down below. Let me play this video for y'all, family. I want to play this video because this goddess had dropped crazy. And I was like, yep, that's it. And the video is kind of long, but I'm going to play it. I'm going to play some of it. Or I'll just let it run. We'll just watch this together. Let me see. Because she was dropping. And I was like, oh, she's something bad with this information. Shout out to this goddess, whoever it is. Okay, let's see. Okay. StreamYard always fucking it up. Let's try it again. All right, y'all see that? Check this goddess out real quick. As she was dropping on this divine feminine energy thing. It says, why are men and white people going extinct?
So every human that exists is a black woman at the core. And the way that she was able to extend herself to experience different levels of consciousness, which is what we consider race, is through her molecules being put to sleep. Now, this sleep is not the same type of sleep that we are referring to from within the constructs of the 3D. I did a lecture at the Quantum Fest where I spoke on how this spell was injected into her and produced the antimatter in the form of the patriarch and the Y chromosome, as well as those who are with it without the activation of their melanocytes and are basically the opposite complexion of her. So in order for her molecules to be put to sleep, we have to remember that feminine energy is our origins. That is our origin story. Now, feminine energy, we should not think of as being male or female. Feminine energy is the inward expression. It is the void. It is the abyss from whence all things are birthed through sound frequency. So the first dimension was potential energy. It was stillness. It was essentially, you can think of it as just heat. Second dimension is thought. That is when the waves, the wavelengths, or the signs, sin waves that are referred to in religion, being born into sin. You are born through the sin that are the sound waves that vibrate into the physical dimension. The physical dimension, of course, is the third dimension, which is what I speak of as being an illusion, because the physical body is the masculine body, and the masculine body is masked by the ego, which houses the feminine body, which is the spirit. Now, through the different states of consciousness, every atmospheric level from whence her energy had to condense to become a physical vessel in the third dimension, her molecules had to be slowed to the point of almost no movement. So think of it as in the highest frequency, the highest form that water can be is vapor. Vapor and spirit are one and the same. This is the dust that is being referred to in the book of Genesis when God created Adam and Eve. Now, without going too deep into the metaphysics of that story, our feminine body is formless, which is the spirit that condensed itself by slowing down its molecules to the point of solidifying into physical material. Think of this as putting the water in the freezer. As water molecules slow down, they become more solid, which means they are condensed further into physical matter. Once those molecules are almost completely slowed to a stop, nearly, it forms as ice. So for ice to form, or even if you think of cold weather in the form of temperature, in physics class, you were taught that lower temperatures are molecules moving at slower speeds, higher temperatures are molecules moving at higher speeds, which is why your soul is literally a ball of fire. And once that fire is ignited, your frequency rises, which is the Kundalini energy that is spoke on rising up your 33 vertebrae, which allows you to reach a level of Christ consciousness that is being portrayed by Jesus. Now, the significance of the Sophia story, remember, all religions are based on womb worship, but the truth behind the stories are encoded in their.
When I tell you about that womb, get down there and start to yodeling in this bitch. I think her name is it's at the end of the video. Wait, here we go. The poetic metaphysician. The poetic metaphysician. Fire, nigga. She dropping. And she telling you womb worship. I just told y'all that. See, y'all got to hear from somebody else, because y'all think I'm clowning and stuff and joking. I'm telling you because, you know, I do it in a funny way, but I'm just telling you what it is. You got to get down there and eat that box. Get your tongue, yodel, get that tongue working, baby, so you can get them calories, and so you can destroy all of that gunk inside. Now, obviously, you want to make sure it's a divine feminine energy female, because, you know, you don't want that toxic cat. Yeah, nah, nigga, you eat that toxic box, you start doing all kind of shit when you get home. You start twitching and everything, looking crazy than a bitch. Look, they said the jab or whatever, right? They said if you sleep with somebody that took it, you can get it. But then check this shit out, the mRNA thing that's encoded in the DNA and shit. Then they said, say that person, so now say that person didn't take the jab. You didn't take the jab. But that person slept with somebody that took the jab. You can get that bitch when you sleep with her or him or whatever, right? I said, oh, they created it. So they didn't even need everybody. They like, shit, if we got 80% of the world, we can catch that other 20% by them having sex. I said, oh my God, I'm glad I'm married. I would have been paranoid than the mother. They would have been paranoid. So then you can't ask them who you slept with. You feel me? So now it's over. Fellas, you can't be like, so you can say, did you take the jab? Nah, I ain't take it. Nah, I'm good. Take it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't take it either. Cool. But past 5 years, why you gonna even ask that? You can't even ask that. So the past 5 years, you been in any relationships? Yeah. I had a relationship. I was in a relationship. My last boyfriend, he took the jab like a sucker. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's good. Okay. Well, it's nice meeting you. Chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, I'm just telling you what it is. They bringing this shit up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what it is, baby. So now, y'all niggas that's talking all that shit about, I don't got the jab. I didn't take it. People both say, I'm like, why do these niggas keep on saying that? Of course we wasn't going to take it. You don't got to keep on showing like you knew something better and shit. That's ego. That's human. Nigga, you probably slept with somebody that took that bitch. Now you got the thing. God damn, chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, I'm just telling you what it is.
They're used as an occult tool to confuse you by inverting the narrative. So whereas Eve and Sophia were punished for seeking knowledge, the knowledge that they were seeking was the expression of themselves. They wanted to express themselves at different levels of consciousness. So Eve, which is just the womb, because vowels don't exist. So Eve is the vagina that's represented by the V. She, which is the darkness, which is the abyss of the first dimension, condensed her molecules, which means she slowed them down. And as she slowed them down and broke different levels of the atmosphere, which is equivalent to the dimensions of consciousness that we have here, or we have the ability to access here, she began to forget, in a sense, her divine feminine nature. So once those molecules slowed down and she became further disconnected from her origins, her true source, which is self, which is within, she mutated outwardly, projected outwardly, which is where you can think of her as the masculine, which we now know of today as men. Now, that inverted state of herself further began to express in a more densified nature, anchoring itself or herself to the third dimension.
That's what I just read in that Long Milo Duquette book. The zero becomes a one express. So the great mother creates man, right? Or the penis, right? The one. And then it just keeps on germinating down to, you know, what we know as Malkuth, or the earth realm. From 1 to 2, 2 is a reflection, so 2 becomes 3 because it's trying to understand itself from this germinated state of the human, right? She dropping, she on this thing. I'm telling you, this shit. I seen this video, I said, I couldn't even stop watching. And you got to notice, you know, it's hard to explain this level of genius like that. Like I'm in awe of her based off of her being able to sit and just let it flow. You feel me? That's melanin. That's God. That's that flow state. And she's, you know, contemplating giving the family the understanding in such elementary ways, energies to make sure that we understand completely what you are. Absolutely amazing.
Because then not only were her chromosomes mutated into the Y and lacked the genetic data that gave her closer proximity to her original divine nature, then her melanocytes, and melanin is the cosmic waters of the primordial womb in physical matter, that gives you a direct line. When they say Jesus on the main line, that is the direct line to your Christ consciousness. Those became turned off.
See, so now you see how she put it in a more eloquent way of saying, yeah, the vagina is a portal, a gateway. I'm telling you that, and y'all laughing and shit. Bobby tells you, and y'all laughing. Y'all hear from the goddess mouth, y'all like, oh shit, okay, that makes sense. Telling you, nigga, get your head down and get your head ready, fellas. Because I'm just telling you what it is, baby. The portal, the gateway, the womb, the burning bush. You better get, okay, all right. Don't do it then. See you at the top. Don't see, y'all gotta let these people keep on calling you and saying like, oh no, you know, this whole thing is about sex. I'm telling you, the ecstasy, the bliss of the divine goddess is sex. They got it on monuments and everything. So to get back to the 0 point, you gotta get to the Vesica Pisces, the V, the vajayjay. Gotta eat that thing. She's saying it eloquently, which you know I'm not gonna say because that ain't even my style. But she's saying it in a great way to give you the understanding that, yeah, you gotta lick that thing. The ecstasy, the bliss, the love. Chaos in the blood, baby. I'm just telling you what it is. Let's keep it rolling.
As she further condensed herself, or as her molecules slowed down further, anchoring her into the third dimension. So there are studies that show that the modern European evolved from dark skin based on environmental engineering. So what happened was, as she began to slow down, if you think of this slowing in the same way that you think of stagnant water, when it's left alone, unmoved for so long, it'll start to birth antimatter, which in this regard is more or less the fungi, the bacterial, in the other lesions and things that start to grow within that stagnant water. These lesions that are growing is what birthed the narcissistic frequency, because the narcissistic frequency, when you break down the word, you get narc, Isis being the womb, which is represented by the goddess of fertility, narc being the narcotic, which is what induced her, which is what birthed from her being induced into the deep sleep. Now,
what, nigga? So basically, she just hell nah, boy. She gone in this bitch. She basically said Caucasian people are born through Auset, which is ISIS, through the narcotics of ISIS. The narcissist of ISIS. So the bastardized version of melanated people. I was like, I'm sitting here listening to the video. I said, this girl right here tripping. She gone. You can't see the way she even saying it. You know, she in some kind of other tunnel vision channel, because she's able to interpret the whole thing in a concise way to give you the play and understanding of what all of this thing is. Absolutely amazing. Her thing is poetic on Insta. I think it's on TikTok. Poetic Metaphysician again. I think she's Poetic Metaphysician. I think it is again. We're gonna see it at the end though, family. Hold on.
When I say that everybody is eventually going to return to the source, which is the Black woman, that means that the experiences that Mama is having as male, as a non-Black or non-melanated being, is a result of her wanting to express herself, or wanting to learn herself in that different aspect of interdimensional consciousness. Because consciousness, although we are all on the physical realm, is unlimited and interdimensional by way of our mind and our mental. So that is why white people, or so-called white people, and Black people, Hispanic people, Latin people, Asian people, African people, all have different ideologies and narratives. They all see life from different forms of reality. We are in the melting pot of America, and everybody see things very differently because we come from different backgrounds, and we exist mentally in different dimensions. So returning to the source, essentially, and you're right, because there's a lot of work to do to cease forgetting, which is the whole idea behind the fifth dimensional shift and us doing the work to raise the frequency of the earth. Because essentially what you're doing when you raise your frequency, that means you are vibrating higher, which means that you are transcending your consciousness and bringing your body closer to the light body energy from whence we came before we densified ourselves as consciousness in the 3D. Now, and I I am, for the purpose of this conversation, considering males and non-melanated people the antimatter, because the experiences that we have been having with them are meant to awaken us. The definition of antimatter, when antimatter comes in contact with real matter, they annihilate each other. Now, that annihilation gives off an explosion, which is just pure energy. That pure.
And remember, and I want to make sure we're clear here. Remember, she's talking about divine feminine energy, so melanated brothers as well, right? If you're tapping into your divine feminine energy, then you're destroying the human earth realm, which is the left brain imprisonment. So she's talking about getting back to source, which is the goddess, which is the right brain. And in that, you're levitating off the ground in a higher way of thinking, or in a higher dimensional way of thinking. And then, you know what I'm saying, you don't got to worry about the world actually coming into more consciousness, because that's not what you're here for. You're here for yourself to come into more consciousness and destroy that antimatter, or that human urge of you that's trying to be, you know, in the glamour and shit, right? That's essentially what she's saying, in the form of getting back to the goddess, returning to the goddess. Because remember, the goddess is just divine feminine energy, or love for yourself, or the love that you are carrying out in this particular mission, in the aspect of, I love what I'm doing. I love who I am. I love how I express myself. You feel me? That's very, very important to understand to the core.
Your energy is symbolic to Christ consciousness, which is basically you returning to your state of divinity. So essentially, she is birthing the chaos that is forcing her to awaken from her sleep. It's forcing her to speed up her molecules and transcend her consciousness beyond the 3D. So once we start to realize that, whether you are a black, white, male, or female, when you understand the nature of how you came here in your physical body, how you incarnated here, the science, the spiritual science of it, the metaphysics, then you will prep yourself for when you transition, so that you can reincarnate here and be closer to completing your mission. So the division that people like to avoid is necessary, because that is what has to happen to remind us that we are all one.
The poetic metaphysician. The poetic metaphysician on TikTok. Absolutely flaming fire, family, fire. So yeah, hey, that's it. You feel me? She broke that down in a nutshell. You feel me? It's getting back to that divine feminine goddess, your spiritual self, right? To eradicate Fight Club, destroy the human, and to come back in your right state of mind, your chaos state of mind. And be love and bliss engulfed in the gnosis of self, the knowledge of self. And that's what these white boys is explaining in Polaria, Gift of the White Stone. Ha! Chaos in the blood, baby. So hey, family, I'm just telling you what it is. Right now, Sirius rising time. It's time to get to work. Time to start activating that part of you that knows. And time to tap in to the goddess within. Yes, sir, family. Yes, sir. Love and appreciate y'all, man. Love and appreciate y'all. Until book club tomorrow, Patreon family, book club tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Central Time. And then be on the lookout. I got part 2 of Polaria, Gift of the White Stone, dropping at, it probably already dropped already, on the Patreon at 11 o'clock. 11 a.m. It's 11:05 right now, so it already dropped. Then we're gonna go into the work in my next video, Patreon family. So just be ready for the work, because again, without doing the work, you're not doing nothing. You're just, you know, this information, but you don't become it. And we're becoming it, right? We're becoming back to the goddess, our knowing, our energy, source energy, God. Y'all know what it is, family. Peace to the gods.